super fast, I come in last, but just time for breakfast. Keep it true, forever blue. Good night, Rosetta's aluminum, a crucial fun, aluminum. The sea is radioactive.
Rodan, directed by Ishiro Honda in 1956, is in my mind the spiritual successor to Godzilla from 1954, as it demonstrates a natural progression in visual effects and aesthetics. The film follows the inhabitants of a Japanese village which is attacked by a species of prehistoric insects which emerge from a mine shaft. During an attempt to take back the mine from the bugs, one man is lost underground, where he witnesses a giant pterodactyl known as Rodan hatch from an egg. Rodan emerges from the ground and wreaks havoc on Japan until he is eventually defeated. Despite what American pop culture would have you believe, Rodan is not a B-movie, but a high-budget film made by a team of dedicated artists. One area which portrays this well is Rodan's color palette. Godzilla worked very well in black and white, because at its core, it's a horror film, and the black and white aesthetic is able to make the monster feel more imposing and believable. Rodan, on the other hand, has the ability to dynamically shift its color palette scene by scene. Portions of the film that take place in the mine infested by the giant man-eating insects have dark lighting with red highlights, and use shadows at the edge of the screen our protagonists are moving towards to induce a fear of the unknown. Emotional, love-driven scenes will often take place in the day with a bright blue sky right behind our protagonists. The film also uses painted backgrounds to create a sense of wonder when our characters are looking at larger-than-life settings. This, of course, is a technique similar to those used in King Kong. What really steals the show, however, is the use of suitimation, a technique invented by effects director Eiji Tsuburaya and performed by monster suit actor Haruo Nakajima, both artists having also worked together in Godzilla. Haruo, who sadly died earlier this year, was incredibly devoted to his portrayal of monsters in Toho's films. He claimed that he would often visit a local zoo just to study the movements of animals in order to make his suit acting feel less human and thus more convincing. The scene which captures the dedication of Haruo and Eiji the best is when Rodan attacks Fukuoka. Part of the scene involves Rodan flying over a bridge. During filming, the cables suspending the Rodan suit broke, and Haruo took a 25-foot plunge into about 1.5 feet of water. This shot was not kept in the final product, but a short clip of him being lifted from the water remains in the film. The reason why the shot is so short is because the suit now weighed 300 pounds after soaking up the water, and so shortly after being lifted, the suspension broke again. As you can probably tell, suit acting is risky. Haruo faced many dangerous situations during his career, including being lit on fire in Godzilla vs. Mothra, being buried in a suit as Baragon, and having explosive charges injure him in Varan. Apparently though, Haruo never complained on set and would simply go to the hospital at the end of the day, not wanting to limit the director by having him worry for the actor's safety. Not only do suit actors face possible injury, but the act of moving around in the suit at all is a serious feat. The Rodan suit weighed 150 pounds, and as stated by people working in production at the time, these suits were built for aesthetics first and function second, so they were incredibly hard to move in, and it's well documented that actors would often fall over in these suits. Shots with the monster were often filmed at a high frame rate then slowed down, so at times the actor would have to move 3 times as fast on set as they would appear on screen. One of the greatest spectacles in Toho monster movies is seeing the monster destroy a city. In the Fukuoka attack scene, Rodan stands on top of a building. This miniature was reinforced with steel bars to keep from collapsing, and I can imagine there were wires attached to the suit to keep the actor from falling. The other miniatures in the city are used to great effect. They're even more intricate than those used in Godzilla, as Godzilla used an array of smaller set pieces and destruction shots, and the monster was composited into wider city shots. Rodan's budget allowed it to create much larger buildings for the monster to destroy in a huge city set, which creates a better feeling of continuity throughout the scene. Rodan represents an evolution of Kaiju movies that comes with improved technology. Though some may say its visuals look fake, or cheesy, or throw some other near-meaningless buzzword, the same techniques used in Rodan were used in Evangelion director Hideaki Anno's 2016 masterpiece, Shin Godzilla. As can be seen here, incredibly detailed miniatures were assembled, and though direct suitimation hasn't been used since 2004, motion capture as well as a huge animatronic Godzilla model make for great substitutes, especially considering Godzilla barely moves at all throughout the film. So yeah, Rodan is a pretty cool flick. I'd go give it a watch. All these Toho monster movies just become a whole lot more fun to watch after you know the techniques that are used. Especially when you just start seeing crazy stuff happen, like I said, like people lighting on fire in the monster suits. It's just all pretty great. Yeah, thank you.